Now to discuss all this is the Conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg. We're joined from Bristol by the Liberal Democrat Tessa Munt. Are you embarrassed, Jacob Rees-Mogg, that this is what the public sees of Parliament most frequently?
It's the only thing they look at Parliament because it's the bit they enjoy. The public like Prime Minister's question. They watch it far more than any other bit of Parliament. They sadly don't listen to my long and worthy speeches.
Tessa Munt, he's got a point. It does at least bring Parliament into the public eye.
Yes, it does, but for all the wrong reasons, I would say. I don't think that the playground of that particular political arena is very sensible at all. And I just think, it's clear from the Hansard report, the Hansard Society's report, that that's what the public thinks. They think it's pretty unattractive.
The public do hate it. There is an alternative explanation. You've just not got a very good speaker at present.
No, I did that. No, actually, we've got a reforming speaker at the present, and it never even crossed my mind when I was elected that there would ever have been a time when select committees were appointed. People were appointed to that rather than elected, which I was. I think there's a number of things that he's done, and I suspect that PMQs will be the last and next one. So.
Is it a male thing, do you think, Jacob Rees-Mogg?
I don't know. In the pictures that came up, there were quite a number of lady MPs who also heckled, but I think it's actually a democratic thing that people feel the points they're arguing about very strongly. They want to put them across forcefully. Ed Miliband thinks David Cameron should be...
really believe
I do believe
this.
that, yes.
It's all you people who... we're in the Oxford Union, jeering, cheering. It's just...
It's
pathetic.
It's not. I fundamentally disagree. And actually, the reason people enjoy this programme is because you're good at skewering politicians, and it makes politics exciting, and it's about important issues.
You're doing the finger pointing now.
I'm sorry about that. I do apologise.
No, you go ahead.
But
it's not politics... I don't call you any names.
Well, the Prime Minister very rarely calls people names. That by and large it is questions about policy, and they are forcefully held views that the opposition is challenging the government about its economic policy, about its health policy, about its education policy, and those things are felt strongly. And politicians aren't entirely cynical operatives. They do actually believe in things and have principles.
Why are you shaking your head, Tessa Munt? Doesn't this apply to you?
No, I think that's tosh, actually. I think if you want to listen to people being held to account for their views and their policies, then you should go to the ordinary question sessions that take place at the beginning of every day in Parliament. But Prime Minister's questions is just a complete charade. It's ludicrous behaviour. It's completely stupid. It is just like, I guess, a public school debating club or something. I mean, it's just rubbish that this holds the Prime Minister to account. There's all sorts of, questions that, if anyone mentions the word Europe or one nation or anything, the whole place bursts into flames and everybody sort of, I don't know, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So, I've been in there. I have actually, I'm afraid, written to the Speaker on occasion last year when it just got completely ridiculous and people were being bullied. And I think there is a savage undertone to some of this. There are some people who stand in the chamber to ask their questions and they are bullied relentlessly by the other side or by people behind them or whatever. And I think that's really, truly unfair. And it's very unattractive to try and persuade people to go into politics if that's what they see and they think they have to go through. Sorry, I missed that.
Who are the worst offenders?
Oh, goodness me, I don't know. I wouldn't possibly name people, but I can tell you, I expect that probably, if you went back through the Speaker's tape...
names. Come on. If you care so much, name some names.
Well, there was a comment last week, wasn't there, where somebody said it would be quite nice to have a day in Parliament where Mr Gove's name wasn't mentioned for some reason of behavioural...
OK, apart from the Secretary of State for Education, is there anyone else who particularly
I think there are people on every side. I think there are people who... I don't engage in this stuff.
Sainted Liberal Democrats?
There might be, but I don't engage in that, and I have actually encouraged us not to do that.
Let's have some names.
Well, OK, fine. There are people who are very loud and very enthusiastic, and I certainly sit in front of people...
Who are they?
I'm not going to mention them because I think there are enough of them who engage in this stuff, and I'm pretty certain there have been rumours that the whips actually send out congratulatory texts to certain members of the major two parties, saying, well done for doing the wall of sound stuff.
So now we're getting tittle-tattle at third hand about what happens in other parties, and you won't name a single person apart from Michael Gove, who's been named by everybody.
Yeah, Yes, I know, but I don't think that's going to get us terribly far. Actually, what I really want to do is make sure that we get the issue of actual some sort of harassment and bullying that takes place. I think this needs to be sorted out, and it's for people to adjust their own behaviour. Frankly, I've been to a town council meeting earlier on this evening. If a town council behaved in that way, they would be put into special measures. If we had children behaving like this in school, they too would be taken out and dealt with.
Are you going to? Yeah, is there any chance of this changing at all? Do you think, Jacob?
No, I hope not. It would be ghastly if the House of Commons ended up like town council meeting. Nobody would be interested
It's a
or
matter of
listen to
courtesy.
what was going on.
It's a matter of
These are
courtesy.
You wouldn't let
important-
children behave in class like this, would you?
No.
Well, children in class are being taught things specifically. They're meant to be learning. In the House of Commons, we are challenging ideas, and in the heat of debate, some ideas and individuals fail. And that's very important, because we want a leader who is tough enough to be able to cope with a few people braying at him. It's not the end of the world.
All right, thank you both very much.